Hi everyone, it's me, Jen. I'm cold actually right now, which is random because I'm I'm not usually cold after all this stuff that I've been through. But I just got off a Zoom with the oncology psychologist, and there's usually some token thing that he says that I'm like, oh, I should share about that because I'm sure I'm not the only one going through this stuff. I've been getting so many questions and comments and stuff from people that are watching these vlogs, and I'm glad that I can be helpful because Lord knows, I don't want other people to go through what I'm going through. Nobody wants to deal with cancer and all this crap. And anyway, so I want to, because I have to not be in a tank top and get to work. Where I am right now, I had my 26th and knock on wood, final Lupron. No, I will state that, not quite make it a question. Final Lupron. I don't even know how long ago. It's been a few weeks. I don't know how many weeks because I don't want to stare at the calendar to know oh, I should be due for the next Lupron, and I want to psych my body out that it doesn't know whether where I am in the process, and I'll just be in menopause and can move along with a different route of treatment and not be psycho, whatever. So I don't know where I am with that process right now. By the time I'm so behind on vlogs, so by the time you watch this, it'll be a month out from when I actually filmed this. Just being straight. Side effects and stuff, because that's such a hot topic. My hot flashes have been increasing. I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, obviously my body is in major flux right now as it's getting used to not being on the Lupron, and it's been 2 years since I've been on the meds, the tamoxifen and all the stuff. I would think at this point, because, sorry, I hate when I get notifications, they're distracting. I really should shut them off. Because I'm 2 years into this whole process of being diagnosed and meds and treatments and stuff, that my body should be used to stuff, and for some reason it's my hot flashes are increasing. I was on the Zoom with the psychologist, and all of a sudden I look at my t-shirt and I'm like, oh look, there's boob sweat, and I haven't had boob sweat in a really long time. The gabapentin, by the way, is what made the hot flashes for me really stop. The one thing that I will say that's different, and I don't even remember if I vlogged about this because I'm behind with my vlogs. This isn't staying on, and I'm not comfortable right now. And in 2 seconds, I'll be so hot, I'll need to throw this thing off. Okay, here's what I'm gonna look like. So I started using a CPAP machine recently. It's been a little over 2 weeks, I think. As I say that out loud, I'm realizing that my hot flashes have increased in that time. I have no idea what the correlation is. I am sleeping better with the CPAP. I get headaches, I think, from the straps, but I hear that it just takes time for that to go away. In general, I don't hate it as much as I thought I would, and I'm able to sleep 7 hours solid with the CPAP, which is great. That's the whole goal. What I'm noticing is over the past, I'd say, week or so, well, and it's funny because as I'm saying this out loud, I'm realizing why probably my hot flashes have been going up lately. It's my work schedule, or my life schedule, I should say. Towards the morning, the past week, I've been waking up earlier than I set my alarm for because my CPAP just goes over this part of my nose. It doesn't go over my mouth. And I'm sweating so much in the morning from hot flashes that it's making this shift. And when it shifts, there's air that goes out the sides, and it just feels weird. And so that's what wakes me up. It's not, the tubing is kind of annoying. There's a weird sense of support and relief with having the oxygen flow inside your nose. Oh yay, hooray, I'll have a good night's sleep and I won't stop breathing. And my sleep apnea, by the way, is not bad at all. why I have a CPAP. I've been snoring like crazy. Why have I been snoring? Because I'm sleeping on my back, and I was always a stomach sleeper who slept sound as a baby. But after my double mastectomy, I am not sleeping on my stomach because I have these implants that are like boulders. Not boulders, but I have my implants, and they're not the most comfortable thing to sleep on. So I have not been sleeping on my stomach. I sleep on my back or I sleep on my side. And since I've been sleeping on my back and I'm getting older, so I hear your uvula, that little thing in the back of your throat, loses its muscle strength as you get older. Again, I'm not a medical doctor, just things I've read. So like as you get older, you just have a higher tendency to snore anyway, just because your uvula is getting weaker and flapping more. So thus I went for the sleep study because I noticed I've been snoring like 4 or 5 hours a night, and which is a large change, but again, only happened after I had my surgery. So like here we are with the CPAP machine. The nugget I got out of my appointment with the psychology oncologist today, or hold on, other way around, oncology psychologist today. I actually wrote it down because I knew I would forget. Well, actually, that's not really where I want to go right now, but I'm looking at all these things like it's just something else. You know, like you get the diagnosis. Yes, sucks. You had the surgery. Recouping from that surgery sucks. Recouping from it sucks. Then you have the meds, the meds suck. Then you have the Lupron sucks. Then you have the Zometa really sucks. You have like all these things. And I was looking at them like it's just one more thing to have to do, and it's really annoying. Then I get frozen shoulder, just one more thing to add on. Like, how annoying. Then I'm in PT for like a friggin' year. Then my apartment floods, which has nothing to do with the cancer thing. But in the grand scheme of life, all of these things, yes, the cancer diagnosis sucks. And the nugget I got today from him was, so I've been through a lot as a person outside of breast cancer. I'm not going to go into all of that. I'm sure you've picked up pieces of things as I've vlogged all these years. But he said something about you can walk away from a bad marriage. You can walk away from friends that are not healthy for you. You can walk away from situations you don't want to be in. But cancer is one thing that you can never walk away from. Because once you've been diagnosed, like you're living as a cancer survivor for the rest of your life. And not that that's looming, just that it's factual that for the rest of your life, it's like, in your space. And I've been looking at the meds and the side effects and the surgeries, plural, and all these things is like, they're things that I have to do because I've been told to do them by my doctors. And most recently, I knocked my back out, like it's been about 3 weeks ago now. I'm also 50, I'll be 52 very soon. My birthday's in a couple weeks. Make sure to wish me happy birthday. I'll be turning 52. So yeah, turning 52. So I'm not a spring chicken anymore, and stuff like throwing your back out happens just because you're turning 52 and your body obviously is aging, and there's things going on too. So I have been in PT for my back, and if anything, it's obviously you need to like strengthen your core to help support your back. And I feel very empowered about strengthening my core because like sometimes I forget that it's even there. Because I'm so worried about like everything else, mostly my boobs, and not really focusing so much on my core. Although as I look down, I get frustrated when my belly sticks out so much, but that's side effects from medication and poor metabolism because of all the medications. But I don't want to have my cancer come back, so I have to choose one or the other, and I would like to not have my cancer come back, so I will suck up things with my belly. I could work out 24/7, but then I want to be able to like sleep or eat or work So, you know, my body is what it is. And I'm not as negative about my body as I used to be. Because of PT, I don't know if I'm losing weight because I don't own a scale. But I feel like my abs in general look better. But I went to plastics. Actually, I know I vlogged about that. I went to plastics last week, or 2 weeks ago, can't remember, whatever, recently. And I just read today the notes that he put in the gateway about that appointment. And he said, like, of course he's proud of his work. He's like, you know, the reconstruction looks absolutely, as I remember the adjective he threw in there, like absolutely wonderful or absolutely terrific, or like my boobs are absolutely terrific, which is not what you hear like 2 years ago when I had the diagnosis in the first place. My boobs were not absolutely terrific when I had like 3 freaking tumors that were trying to kill me, and now they're gone. And I'm on the drugs to keep them away if any cells decide to want to like hang out together, because no, I'd rather starve them off and die. And starve off and die, have the cancer cells die. Sorry, that was weird. Which is why I'm on the tamoxifen, and which is why I was on the Lupron, to like starve off any remaining cancer cells from not having any estrogen, because my cancer was estrogen fueled. So when I went to plastics, and I always go with a list, I put it in my phone. I don't know if I ever talked about that, which I'll just mention briefly. When I plug in an appointment for a phone, I use Google Calendar like a lot for work and for my own life. I found it to be I used to have like the old school mom calendar on the wall. Now that my kids are both like grown and like college and beyond, I don't have the like, you know, kitchen mom calendar anymore. It's all in Google Drive or Google Calendar. But I'll put notes in there for my appointments about things I want to talk about in the description section. So like, you know, fun facts and stuff that I do to keep things straight for me, that like, if I know, okay, I have this appointment coming up, like, you know, the day before or something, I'll pop in there, like, what do I want to make sure I bring up to him? And I'll add to it like the morning of, and sometimes even while I'm waiting for him to walk in the room. And that appointment was pretty quick, and like he's so excited about my absolutely wonderfully looking boobs that I sometimes don't remember to even ask all the things, because who doesn't want to hear that their boobs look absolutely terrific, you know? And I get sidetracked, I guess. I don't know. But I did mention to him that like I have had, especially that day, I had a lot of tingliness in my left hand, and I had gone to 3 separate stores over the course of a week and tried on a variety of rings just to like wear rings. And I tried up to size 10s and none of them fit. I actually bought a ring that's elastic, which I thought was a great idea, whoever invented that, that I bought at Runway, and put it on, and it's elastic, but it felt like it was like a rubber band around my finger, because my finger starts swelling, and then I feel like the ring is cutting off circulation. And like, I want to be able to wear rings again. So he wrote me a script for lymphedema, for lymphatic massage, which is not uncommon, especially when you've had lymph nodes removed. Again, I've had 2 removed from my left side, but in general, my left side's okay. The tingliness, I think, honestly, is because I've had 26 shots in my left arm. Whenever they do, you can actually still see the lines on there. I don't know if you could see that. My blood pressure was stupid high yesterday. I actually had to stop PT because my blood pressure was so high, and it was just frustrating because I don't even know why. I wasn't stressed. I was running around a bit. But I've had a lot done on my left arm. I had 6 lymph nodes removed from my right arm. So people stay away from my right arm. Like whenever I have shots or infusions or blood work, they always go in my left arm. So I feel like my left arm has been through enough and a lot. And that could be why I have the tingliness, because most people don't go every month to get shots. And they're shots like in my muscle. Like it's a pretty big shot. It's there to shut down your ovaries. So the tingliness is pretty much just in my left hand. The swelling, I mean, I've had swelling even before all this crap happened. Like if I'm walking and I'm not moving my arms enough, you know, it's just a blood flow thing. And on a side note, I do have fibromuscular dysplasia, which does not really impact my life much at all. But it's there, so that could be part of something. I don't know. If Pam Mace, if you're watching, you can let me know. She's the head of the FMD Society of America. Though my breast surgeon told me that, like, when I mentioned to her about everyone staying away from my right arm, she said it was kind of old school thinking, and you can take your blood pressure on your right arm. I sometimes do when my blood pressure is really high, because I do know if your blood pressure is high in one arm but significantly lower in the other, it could be a sign that you're having an arterial dissection, which no one wants. So he wrote me a script for PT for the lymphatic work, and then he wrote me a script for OT because I told him, like, I'm tutoring, I'm working way more than I have since surgery, since a long time. I haven't worked full time in years. I mean, I did for like my entire life, and then I was a stay-at-home mom once we moved to Massachusetts for a few years. And then I started volunteer work, which I feel like my volunteer work became like way more than a part-time job, because you're not paid for it. You're paid with love and respect. You're paid in a very different way, because I feel like all that volunteering and stuff gave so much to the community, who then gave back to me when I went through all of this crazy, including finding me this beautiful new home after my place flooded. But the OT thing it's for writing, because even though it's been all this time afterwards, because I'm writing so much more, it's not even typing. The typing is okay. I figured out work situations. I have a standing desk, like all that stuff I figured out, and it was working for me. But then when I add like full-time or part-time tutoring onto a part-time job, I'm working a full-time load, and my body is not really, it's having a hard time keeping up. Does that mean it always will? No, it means it's an adjustment. And I've been frustrated about it. I was frustrated about him writing me the script. Well, initially I was happy he wrote me the script for OT, because it didn't even dawn on me to do OT. And the OT is for like obviously there's pain and like gummy feelings still in here, which I have been told like really won't ever go away, because I had the 6 lymph nodes removed, and there's a lot of scar tissue going on there because of all the work. I mean, my tumor, my biggest tumor, the nastiest tumor, was on this side, and there were 2 tumors, a smaller one and then a bigger one, and from front to end, the 2 tumors together were like 5 centimeters, which is large. It's a grade, well, that might be higher. My largest tumor was a grade 2 tumor because of its size. It was like 3.2 centimeters or something, which is big for a breast tumor. But I had 2 that were both, I was like, what's the opposite of benign? Oh my God, it's been a while. They were both malignant. And now they're gone. But all the hubbub from removing that much of, I mean, obviously I had done a mastectomy, so they removed all my breast tissue. But even before that, you know, they're doing biopsies, they're removing samples and like, you know, cutting and poking and prodding and scar tissue and all this stuff that obviously it's going to impact this whole like area. And here I am trying to do like, you know, upper level math stuff for, it was like 2 hours a day. And I recently cut down that load because I'm like, I have to not be spending 2 hours every day in addition to my working, because then it turns out to be more than a full-time job. And I can't go from one extreme to the other. Like, I have to be kind to my body with this whole process. And one of the downfalls of Jen is that I have a very hard time not going from extremes when it comes to like, I'll sit on the couch and play some video game on my phone for an hour, and then be sore when I get up. But then I can go like out on the dance floor at Runway and dance for an hour and be like, woohoo! Versus like just playing games for 15 minutes and maybe just dancing for 15 minutes. Like, I have a hard time with the all or nothing thing when it comes to, I don't know, adrenaline, like wanting to get back into my pre-normal life. I don't know. But yeah, you can't walk away from this stuff. Like, you're a changed person after a cancer diagnosis in so many ways. And when I get these other scripts, and lymphedema is a very specialized thing that you need for OT. You can't just go to any OT practice or hospital and get lymphedema work. I think a separate certification to get. So it's a matter of like asking around and finding someone, and I did find someone. And then it's a matter of the OT. Like I have never had OT. I've dealt with OTs in the school system, but I'm like, how as an adult do you find an OT? I've learned that you can find them through PTs, so I'd have to like ask around to find someone who could do OT with me. But for me, I was looking at it like it's just another thing. It's another thing, and I'm sick of another things. Like I just want to go back to life. It's Tuesday. I want to do Zumba tonight so badly, and I don't know if I can or not. And this question has popped up on many Tuesdays. Because I'm like, is it going to be too much? Am I going to get a little too excited with myself and do Zumba for an hour at the best I can and then be hurting for like a week versus just like taking it really slow and like, being kind to my body. So the reframing that I got out of my session today was because you can't walk away from a cancer diagnosis. Like you can walk away from other things that are not healthy or serving you. When you're given these things like PT scripts and OT scripts and even medication prescriptions, the change in the framework of your thinking is these are things I'm doing for myself to help my body get to a place where I won't need these things anymore. And this will just be part of life. And these will make Jen into the best Jen that she can be. Is it overwhelming right now and frustrating? Of course. You can't change your thinking like that. It takes time. It takes rewiring of neurons to change your way of thinking. I anyone who has any chronic health thing knows that the healthcare system in the United States fucking sucks. Because my copays for PT went up to $75 a visit. So let's do the math here. $75 a visit. I'm supposed to go twice a week for my back. That's $150 right there. And then I'm supposed to start PT for the lymphedema massage, which could be twice a week also. So that's another $150. Put it together, that's $300 a week. And wait, I still have OT that I have to take care of. And if that's a twice a week thing, that's another $75 twice, which is another $150. Put that all together, that's $450 a week. $450 a week to make Jen into the best Jen that she could be. And right now, it's like, I'm not in a place where like I'm drowning in medical bills anymore. Like I have them, but it makes me mad that the healthcare system is what it is, that like I have to, and many people have to potentially go into debt just to pay off their medical bills. I'm not even gonna like scoop into that one today because that's a much larger issue. It just, it makes me frustrated, and it makes a lot of people frustrated. I've heard people make comments. I've unfortunately have friends that are going through medical stuff, and their friends make GoFundMes for them to support their families, and they wonder like, oh, it looks like so much money. Why am I giving them all this money? Like you have no idea the cost of being sick, the cost of needing help, the cost of needing treatments or whatever it is that you're needing is expensive. And unfortunately, many people have to take out like second mortgages on their homes and stuff. I don't have a home. I'm in an apartment, which I love. Especially in the fall right now as everyone's like leaf blowing, and I'm like, I'm not leaf blowing. There's pros and cons to being in an apartment, but I love that I'm not leaf blowing because I don't think my body can handle it. But the thought of spending $450 a week on OT and PT is crazy. So I had to think of it not as an all or nothing thing, because when I saw that, I was like, I'm not doing the other OT and PT then, because I have bills to pay and that are non-medical, And B, like, how do I find all those hours in the week too? I'd have to like not be tutoring and not be working as much, and I can't do that. So how do I do that? So the reframing I need to do right now, because I gotta sum up, is to look at them like I'm so not there. So just hang with me here, is to look at them like they are gifts to me, that I've been given this opportunity to get help from someone else to help me with this and to help me write so that I'm not in pain writing after 2 hours and I'm standing at Target looking at the wall of mechanical pencils, like, which one will be the most comfortable mechanical pencil for me? And I bought the one that said it's the most the comfortable mechanical pencil, and I used it and it's not. And there's someone out there who can help me with this. And it's not an all or nothing thing, that if I can only do once a week and make sure I do some exercises and stuff at home, like that's the self-discipline part, make sure that you do that. With keeping track of all this crap is a lot too. So like my thing is I need printouts. I know that's old school and it's not eco-friendly, but like I need printouts to remind me if they're in my face with a picture. I can like way more easily do it, because I'll be like, oh, look, there's the paper. I have to go do this, versus like my ALEXA telling me all the time, oh, you need to go exercise. And I just am like, yeah, remind me later, remind me later, remind me later. And I just, don't do it. So I have to look at them as gifts. I have to, because like it's a couple weeks after Lupron, and that means emotional time, but it also means aggression time. And I saw a side to myself yesterday that I haven't seen in a while, and made me not thrilled. I got mad about something, and the rage in me was like, whoa, Jen. It was like a Incredible Hulk moment. I'm like, who is this person right now that like internally I'm feeling like I want to like punch a wall really hard? And I did not do that. I walked away from the situation because I could. But I can't walk away from the fact that like my blood pressure was stupid high at PT yesterday, to the point that she had to stop doing PT and just have me sit, and I'm good at getting it back down again, but it kind of stopped me in my tracks. And I've become very protective over myself in many, many different ways. Right now, I mean, like physically, that if my blood pressure is high, I don't care what the fuck is going on around me, but I need to get my blood pressure down and calm. Like, I should say calm down. I didn't feel stressed at all when my blood pressure was high. I felt like I was running around a lot, but like she was doing some work on my back, and I got up. I was in a face down position, and I got up and I got really dizzy. I don't think I even got up that fast at all, but I got really dizzy, and then I got worried and had a drink of water, and I still felt dizzy, and she took my blood pressure, and it was high. So she's like, we need to stop, because we waited a little while and it didn't go down. Granted, by the time I got home, which was like not even 10 minutes later or whatever, like it had dropped to relatively normal. And I'm on blood pressure meds, by the way, not because of stress or whatever. I have FMD, which you can watch an amazing episode of Neighbors to Know with Pam Mace about FMD to see what FMD actually is at Neighbors to Know on YouTube. I host and I host and produce the show. Present tense, even though I haven't done a show in a while with a guest. Yeah, so that's where I am. I need to like finish up and get out of my tank top. Although, like, look at that cleavage. Woohoo! You gotta pull something positive out of all this. I don't have a bra on right now, and it's like, woo, I can do that. See, whenever I have thumbnails like this, like I have that one thumbnail where I have my kinesiology tape on. Weirdly, I feel like I'm wearing the same, not the exact same tank top, because that was before the flooding in my old apartment, but I bought the same kind of tank tops. And I had this tank top on, and I had it pulled down, and you could see the kinesiology tape, the kinesio tape that was here, that was helping at the time with PT and bringing back like sensation in my boobs. So I could take a picture like this, or like this, and then like all of a sudden, I think that YouTube video has like 35,000 views on it at this point. And I'm like, is it just a bunch of people who are looking at it because they're like, oh, look, boobs, you know? But if anything, because that video got so many views that now well, after a certain amount of views, it got embedded with something else as like a recommended video, which is what like blew up the views. But that's how the person, there was a guy that reached out, and I wonder if he's watching this one. There was a guy that reached out that told me that he was recently diagnosed with breast cancer. And I don't really know a lot at all about like the process, or not process, but like you know, what's in your space and how that works and what you're thinking when you're a male that gets diagnosed with breast cancer. For the Runway thing, which I think I put the video on my Facebook page. I feel like I should change the title of this, because invasive ductal carcinoma, what? I don't know if people will find that, but that's the name of the Facebook page. And the section I was in for the Runway for Recovery show, the person that was walking right before us, their whole story was that it was a woman and her daughter, and it was her husband and her daughter's father who passed away from breast cancer, like male. Crazy. So, yeah, what was my point? I don't know. Oh, the viewage. Yeah. So like whatever, if like doing this and like, look at my nail polish. Whoop, I have my little pink heart. Can you see that? Is that focused or not? I can't tell. I feel like it's not focusing. I have my little pink heart on there with my cleavage, and then people will be like, oh, look, cleavage, we want to watch. And then other people will get help because of watching, because it's a stupid thing like pulling my tank top down a little bit. Whatever. As long as I can help people, like, that's what matters today. All right, I'm going to go eat my grapes. Oh, this will be a fun one too. Thumbnails are funny. So I bought these grapes. I don't even know what they're called, but they're like, they look like little eggplants or something. But they're obviously not like oval. They're funny looking, or not funny, but different looking. So yeah, I have these. So maybe if I do this, pull my shirt down with the grapes, with my pink. Oh my God. I need to like get at the fucking door and get to work. With my pink ribbon on my nail polish, like, look at these things. I can have a video that has like 50,000 views. And it's not about the views. It's about like, the views are what help the most people, which is why I do care about my numbers, these numbers, because I want people to not feel alone. And if anything, what I hear mostly from people that are commenting and stuff is that they are getting help. And a lot with the Zameda infusions, which I have my next one, I think in late January, is that I know I'm not the only person feeling this stuff. And like, I'm sure you can sense that I've been through a lot in life aside from breast cancer. And I know I have a lot of life advice to give. And I don't want anyone to feel like they're alone in this process at all. So this is my way of, originally it was giving back to me, just like kind of venting. And then I made the videos public for anyone to see. And from what I hear, like they're helping a lot of people, which means a lot to me because cancer sucks. And if I could be of any help, that makes me very happy. All right, so I will see you all next time. I don't know when. It's been a while since I've vlogged. A couple weeks, actually. So we'll see where things are. All right, have a good day. Rock on with your bad self. I'm quoting that from somebody else. All right, later.